There we go. Perfect.
Okay,
Let,
perfect.
do you want to just kick things off, Kara, or would you like me to introduce you, or how do you want to do
I
this?
mean, maybe people want me introduced. I don't know. Does
Perfect.
everyone?
Well, good evening, you guys. Happy Monday. I'm so happy that you were all able to hop on tonight's science call. We're super excited to have Kara here with us. Kara is one of the diamonds on the Happy Collective in the Wellness Collective. We all know and love her, and I just can't wait to hear about the nerdy science things that she has up her sleeve tonight because honestly, the science behind these products is absolutely amazing. We do have a little piece of homework that we want you guys to kind of take away from this week. And I'm just going to throw it out here before Kara gets started. So basically, we want you to learn something tonight and get really, really comfortable talking about the science and how you're going to market the science of the products to your viewers. And then we want you to hop on your stories, tag us in it, so Kalea, Anna, and I, so we can reshare them and then make it a story highlight so that you can sort of revert people there if they're starting to ask questions about the science. And if you're rubbing your head and not knowing what to say, Kara's here to answer all your questions tonight. So, Kara, I'm going to let you take it away for us. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that introduction. And I totally agree with Paige. Like, if you guys do a story series and you throw it up in a highlight, the thing is that you can be so passionate about what you're talking about one day, and then the next day your kid, has a fever, is vomiting, your days are off, and someone's asking you about the science of happy juice, and you're like, oh, I wish I had the motivation that I had when I was explaining it that one day. Well, awesome. Now you can revert them back to that highlight bubble and say, I was chatting about the science the other day. Here's the highlight bubble, right? So you can always bring the energy. Okay. So I'm just going to jump right into it, guys. So I'm usually not the queen of having a lot of wording on my slides, and I like to chat more than wording on my slides. But tonight, because I know that this is like a super intense power hour. You guys are writing notes. I thought I'd throw lots of stuff up on the screen so you can take from it what you want. You can write down what you want. I know that we have busy lives. Some people are cooking, some people are putting kids to bed, whatever it is. If you can stop and either screenshot these or you can type, like because you're on your computer, or write notes, I suggest you do that. So, why our products over other leading drinks in the industry? You guys, Happy Juice is the only company that has worked with both the gut and the brain axis for real. So I want you guys to really, really let this sink in, and I want you guys to write that down, underline it, whatever you need to do. There are specific companies working with the gut, and there are specific companies working with the brain, yet no one has nailed down connecting the two and working with them both simultaneously with the gut and the brain axis approach. You've heard of Plexus. They're working with the gut. You've heard of Q Science. They're working with the brain. You've heard of things like Arbonne, okay? They're working with the gut. They have not figured out themselves, or they haven't prior to us coming into this industry, how to sync the gut and the brain. And now I'm going to go into why it's so important that the gut and the brain need to be connected, why that's so important in your supplement routine, and what actually connects both the gut and the brain. What is it in the body that connects it? Why are those products not doing it from Plexus? Why are those products not doing it from Q? What in Amare is doing that? Well, we're focusing on the vagus nerve. So the gut and the brain are connected through the vagus nerve. And what is the vagus nerve? So the vagus nerve is like a communication superhighway that connects both the gut and your brain. It also plays a role in keeping you calm and managing stress. So you guys, have you put a 1 in the chat or yes in the chat if you've seen people doing cold plunges? Have you seen people like putting ice cubes on their face? Putting a cool cloth on the back of their neck, all those different things. Do you know what that's actually doing? What it's doing is it's waking up that vagus nerve. And that vagus nerve is really important in the body because if we don't have the vagus nerve working correctly, there is a lot of build up, you know? You think about the highway at rush hour at like 3 or 5 o'clock, and then you think of the highway at 1 a.m. Who wants to take the highway at 1 a.m.? Well, I want to be sleeping at 1 a.m., but I'd rather take what a highway looks like at 1 a.m. than I would like to take a highway that looks like at 5 o'clock or rush hour. And why am I capitalizing on that? So you guys really, really get what I'm talking about, because that can happen in the body. You can make all the good neurotransmitters in your gut. Okay. So I am going to name drop. Okay. So as much as this is being recorded, please do not post me all over social media, because I'm not trash talking other companies. Maybe they have great products, but I am going to name drop so that you guys can assess the situation. So you've got things like Plexus and Arbonne and Q Science and all that jazz. I'm not telling you that they're crap companies. I'm not. What I'm telling you is that maybe they're working on neurotransmitters in a very, very, very simplified way, but they're not working with that vagus nerve to communicate with the brain, making it a gut brain axis supplement. If there is inflammation in the body, we're talking autoimmune disorders, we're talking PCOS, we're talking endometriosis, we're talking all these different inflammation markers in the body, then the highway is essentially blocked. And the neurotransmitters are the messenger cells that tell your body how to move and how to feel and how to react. And you want a healthy flow of these, or else things like mood disorders, depression, anxiety, arthritis, different muscle things, they can happen, right? And if your body's in that state of fight or flight, your vagus nerve is not woken up, and there's just a lot of cloggedness to it. Okay. There's a lot of stuffiness. Okay. Now we're switching gears. How do the probiotics in Happy Juice help make it past the stomach acid to be highly effective? Sometimes that can be a question. And you guys, it's floating out there, different probiotic companies saying, yeah, we've got double capsuled probiotics so that the probiotic can make it past the stomach acid and then it can do its job in the body. And it's talking about how it is used in the body, how it is capsulated. Well, first of all, I want to know what those capsules are made of, because are we having extra of that gunky stuff that we don't really need in the body? Second of all, how about we just make those probiotics in such a way that they help with the gut, they get past that stomach acid and they get used in the body. Okay, that brings us to why it's so important how and when you drink your Happy Juice. It is not a sipper, and I really, really want to capitalize on that, you guys. When I first got my Happy Juice, I was like, okay, I'm making it in the morning. I'm driving. Like, I wanted to reap the benefits for hours, okay? It was an expensive product. I wanted to reap the benefits for hours. I wanted to taste it for hours. That's not how we should be drinking our Happy Juice. We should be drinking our Happy Juice within 2 hours, so that the specific way that it was formulated helps its activity, right? As soon as those probiotics hit water, you're activating them, okay? And so then they're getting put into the body, they're getting put into the gut, and to get past that stomach acid, you need to drink it within those 2 hours, okay? So that's how you're going to explain that to people. That's what you're going to do yourself, and that's what you're going to tell other people to do. Now let's talk about Happy Juice. You guys, there is like word vomit on this page, but it's so much better than vomit. It is so good. It's so juicy. Take from it what you want and simplify it, okay? So Happy Juice is, and you can screenshot this so that you can reformulate it. Guys, screenshot all you want. Like, my info is your info. I want the whole world to know about this. So let's share it all. Happy Juice is three supplemental powders that you mix together to create a delicious. So this is what you can say in your messages, because you want to bring that feeling to them, right? Amari is so much more than just a logo. It's a feeling. It's how you feel when you take the product. It's how you feel when you look at the packaging, okay? Let them know it's a delicious taste of mango, grape, watermelon. The goal is to, and you guys, a lot of people are saying it helps boost serotonin, GABA, and dopamine. I said it myself. But here's the thing is, when people hear raise or boost or elevate, they think, okay, short-term hit, or they think, what's going to happen when I get off the products? Or they start to think like, if you're super nitty gritty like me and you love science, it's like, what are our parasites doing when we're raising that serotonin, when we're doing this to our GABA, or, different things. And they just start thinking, they get overwhelmed and they make assumptions. Okay. I want you guys to start using the word balance because that's essentially what it's doing. If I spoke to someone and they told me they had low cortisol, I'd be like, happy juice, my dude. If they told me they had high cortisol, I'd be like, happy juice, my dude. Because the thing is when you're in fight or flight for way too long, you can actually deplete your cortisol. When there's people that are in the height of their fight or flight, their cortisol is elevated. So when you've waited far too long and you've been in this state, sometimes you actually have nothing left of that hormone. Okay, I'm just gonna drop into the chat right now. Yes, yes, yes. Sipper. Gonna use, okay. Yeah, balance is such a great way to say it, okay? So the drink is formulated in such a way that you can feel it working within 20 minutes, and you can expect to have a better mood, clearer thinking, better workouts, and more energy. So when you say it this way, you've really gotten a lot of the categories, okay? And you don't necessarily want to jump into the whole talk about hormones right now because one, you don't want to miss out on the goodness of selling them the happy hormones pack. And two, we'll talk about hormones with them individually. This is a better blanket statement, okay? Serotonin. The job of serotonin in the body is to regulate mood, help with sleep, aid in digestion, control appetite, and aid with pain regulation. Okay, that's what serotonin is meant to do. Then we've got GABA. GABA is a chemical in your brain that helps calm things down. Okay, it works like a break for your nervous system, slowing down brain activity when things get too busy. So it's not something that makes you sleepy. It's rather something that, have you ever like been super stimulated and then you walk into, a hot yoga session and they've got like meditation going and you're like, oh, I feel like I can breathe, it's just that slow music, okay, or slow movement. So it's helping go, let's slow it down and let's reassess. Okay, that's what GABA is doing. So this helps to reduce stress and anxiety, promote relaxation, and it makes it easier to sleep. GABA also helps your muscles stay relaxed and prevents them from being overly tensed. Overall, it helps your brain and body stay balanced and calm. You guys, so many people use Happy Juice for the energy and the motivation aspect, and Happy Juice is amazing for that. But when you elevate or balance your serotonin and your GABA, it actually helps increase the levels of melatonin when you need them, when the lights come down. Balancing serotonin and GABA helps increase levels of melatonin when night sets in. So not only are you helping with your motivation and you're helping with all of that stuff, you're actually helping yourself sleep better at night and get that amazing rest that you're going to need to face the next day. So yeah, people are feeling amazing on Happy Juice, but they're also getting better sleeps, and better sleeps mixed in with an incredible supplement is literally bound to give you amazing results. Then let's talk dopamine. When dopamine is balanced, you feel motivated, focused, and emotionally stable. Don't know about you, but I like feeling emotionally stable. You experience pleasure and satisfaction from daily activities without overindulging or feeling dependent. So I actually am curious in the chat. Before Happy Juice, some people have been or are on SSRIs, okay? Have you ever felt that like numbness? And you're like, I want to feel happy in this season, or I want to feel happy about this, but I just can't seem to feel that. I can't seem to achieve that feeling no matter what I do. Sorry, I'm going to the chat here. Yeah, okay. Okay, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Bill, yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's and you do get stuck in that where you're just like, I feel like I should be happy right now, but I'm not, and I can't achieve that feeling. Okay, that's because your dopamine is off. And oftentimes people are numbing themselves with this. and you're screwing your dopamine even more. There are clinical studies that show that every time our thumb taps the screen and it lights up, that's a dopamine hit. Okay. What else is a dopamine hit? Shopping. Drugs obviously are a dopamine hit, but not everyone's doing drugs. We're all touching our phones. So I'll address that. Okay. So first of all, you want to work on your dopamine, also work on your phone use and make sure that you're being very intentional about it. Some people are like, I don't have time for this business. Well, you would if you stopped scrolling mindlessly. Okay. Just need to put that in there. So yeah, so a lot of people need to work on their dopamine, the dopamine levels in their body. So happy juice actually helps you regulate that so you can feel that emotional stability and you can feel that satisfaction again. Your movements are smooth and coordinated, right? They're not jumpy and like irregulated. Your ability to make decisions and learn and solve problems in short and imbalanced example, dopamine helps you stay motivated, enjoy life, and function efficiently. Okay, now let's jump on to quality control. Every slide here is juicy, but it's a different topic. So I don't know, like, who has seen this? I want to know who has seen this. I don't know in the chat. Okay, let's see. See how many people have seen this. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yeah, that's interesting, Jasmine. Something similar. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go there with you then. Okay. So this is Amari's quality control PDF. Okay. And this is very important. This isn't the Builder app. Okay. And this is what sets us apart. So we have integrity through the quality of what we have here in Amari. And I want you guys to write the 5 pillars of product quality down. A stands for ancient wisdom. From the 5,000-year-old practice of traditional Chinese medicine. M is modern innovation, using biopsychoneuroimmunology to create new proprietary formulas. A is analytical verification, are safe, pure, and potent, and traceable, all natural, standardized, active compounds. R is for research proven, our claims, substantiation, and studies that prove our products work. E is for ethical sourcing of exotic ingredients of our entire global supply chain of sustainability focused partners. You guys, do you know what it means by exotic ingredients? It means that it's not grown in a greenhouse in our manufacturing plant. It's not grown in a greenhouse in the USA. It is sourced from the plant's native environment. I'm gonna get into this with you about lion's mane because I really, really, really want to drive it home with you tonight about lion's mane, and I'm gonna chat your ear off about that because it is from Asia, you guys. Okay, it is so good, and our ingredients come from all around the world. Okay, from the plant's native environment. Lemons from Italy are much different than lemons from Canada. I'll tell you that for free. Okay. You ain't going to get the same lemon here in Canada. I'm in Canada that you're going to get from Italy. Okay. It needs to be from the plant's native environment. So, raw material testing. And you guys, I am so big on this. I love that we test for pesticides and heavy metals. And do you know that other companies, and now I'm not going to name drop, but I'm going to say leading companies, they are not testing for mold. I'm also going to touch on this and the really big attraction about lion's mane. There is a lot of possibility with mold when it comes to lion's mane, especially in other companies. It is very important in the growing process of mushrooms that there is absolutely no mold. That is very important. And our company is testing for that. Okay. I know I know that I'm like talking a lot, but I love that I was brought on for purely a science call because I ain't gonna apologize for this. I am gonna get nitty gritty and I am gonna chat about this stuff. And usually I'm apologizing because I go so crazy, but I'm not even gonna apologize. So yeah, we're looking at during another thing is that we have third party testing on our raw material and our finished product. Companies are not doing this. They're not doing this. They are talking so happily about their third party testing, which is great, but on their finished product. We are getting it as soon as we have those raw materials. We are getting the third party testing on that. Then we make the product. We have it as a whole, and then we're also getting third party testing on that. So that we are really doubling down on that, okay? So, anyways, this is for all your sciencey girlies or men that want to know more about it. And this is the quality control sheet, and I wanted you guys to know about that. So let's go back to our presenting. So you can screenshot this slide if you want it all in one spot. I'm gonna give you time to screenshot it. Oh, okay. Now, woohoo! Let's talk nootropics and citicoline. A natural nootropic is a substance from nature, like a plant or an herb that can improve brain function. This can actually even be a spice. For example, our nootropics, mango leaf, lychee fruit, palm fruit, and lion's mane. We have 4 nootropics. Okay, Amari used to have 3 nootropics, and now we have 4. They may help boost memory and focus by increasing blood flow to the brain. These nootropics support mental clarity, learning, and alertness in a gentle way without strong chemicals. Strong chemicals, as in pharmaceuticals. You can achieve this, but through pharmaceuticals. And what do pharmaceuticals do? They give you that crash, right? They leave you feeling addicted, okay? Our nootropic is formulated in such a way that there's no crash from the goodness that it provides. And also, we have worked to have a slow release caffeine in our mango happy juice so that you're not having a quick fix and then you're having that crash, right? Which a lot of times that happens with fizz. You have that immediate boost and then you have that crash, which is why you see people having 5 or 8 of them a day, right? Not the greatest. Kind of kills me. Okay. Lion's mane helps with. You guys, I want you to know right now. Actually, Dr. Sean doesn't know this. He was our old scientist. I have his entire note sheet before Lion's Mane or before our mango happy juice hit the shelves. Okay. I was chatting with a presidential diamond. I said, listen, I am a studier at heart. They did actually talk to Dr. Sean, but I still use it. These are part of Dr. Sean's notes that I keep stored in my book. Okay. Lion's mane helps with nerve growth factor. Lion's mane mushroom prevents and treats nerve damage in the brain. Once past the blood-brain barrier, lion's mane. So the blood-brain barrier at the base of our neck is something that, so God created us in such a way that it's kind of like a protection mechanism. Okay. And there's very few things that break through the blood-brain barrier. And some things are intense as like vaccines or nootropics or mushrooms. There are some specific things, but not everything breaks through the blood-brain barrier. Okay? Because it's like a protection mechanism in our brain, in our body. So, but lion's mane does. So once it's past the blood-brain barrier, the lion's mane stimulates enzyme production that releases nerve growth factor, NGF. Has anybody heard of that? Nerve regeneration helps relieve neurodegenerative disease such as Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. You guys, I knew this before Mango Happy Juice came out. And what do you think I drink every damn day? I know that it might not work for everybody, but it works for me and it's something that I love having in my routine. Okay. The lion's mane is so amazing. Um, and also in in the mango specifically, it also has turmeric, which brings out that yellow color. Okay. And so it's helping bring down that inflammation, which is stimulating the vagus nerve, which is also bringing down inflammation in the brain, which allows the lion's mane to work, which brings down the probability of these diseases. I'm telling you what we have on our hands in our house right now, what we are selling. Do not gatekeep this stuff. Do not gatekeep it. You have people's future in your hands. You have people's brain health in your hands. You have people's literal mental health in your hands. Okay? It is so important that we get loud about this. Now, I want you to know, and I speak loud and clear because if I was speaking on stage, I would need to make this loud and clear. You cannot say that mango happy juice is going to prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. Okay? Hear me loud and clear. You cannot say mango happy juice is going to do this. Now, if you're talking in your stories one day and you're talking about lion's mane, you sure as heck can talk about that. You can talk about what lion's mane is going to do. You can talk about lion's mane. Lion's mane. Okay. Sorry. I felt like now that I've said it so much, I'm like, bleh. But maybe a few hours later, you're going to talk about your mango happy juice and you're going to talk about how you love it so much because it has lion's mane in it. Okay. Try to space it out just so the messenger doesn't get shot. Okay. Neurogenesis. Lion's mane stimulates the repair and creation of neurons. So when you go through stress or trauma, or there's drug addiction, alcohol addiction, things like that, you're actually breaking down those neurons in your brain. You know, you know how you always people joke about having like less brain cells when you've gone through that. It's true. Okay. You've broken that down. You need to bring that back up, but you need to stimulate neurons that have not gone through trauma. You know, that's why the body recirculates and you have cells in your body that don't recognize the things like trauma. That's why happy juice over an extended period of time is just so healing. That's not necessarily compliant, but I'm going to say it. Okay, so lion's mane stimulates the repair, and this is why they don't get me to lead the actual Amare, like 5,000 people are gonna be on. I'm like, yeah, Ainsley, please don't actually put my name in the hat for speaking on stage because I ain't ready yet. Lion's mane stimulates the repair and creation of neurons, boosting neurotransmitters and signaling that affects a memory, learning, recall, and mood. Okay, brain optimization. Lion's mane helps eliminate brain fog by restoring memory and mental alertness. Funny, just like a really quick story. Before I started on Happy Juice, I came to Eric one night and I was like, babe, and he goes, what now? Like, there's just always something. And I'm like, no, for real, listen to me, hear me out. I think I have short-term memory loss. Like, I felt like Dory. And I was like, I actually feel like people talk to me and I don't remember their name. I feel like people tell me a story and I'm like, what were the details of that again? When I started on mango happy juice and I was on it consecutively for a month, I felt like I had my memory back. I felt like I could think again. Something that's really funny is like I'm so ADD. I joke around about it. It's not my title, it's not my identity, but it's totally there. I can go from this, that to the next conversation. And one thing I used to struggle with was remembering my conversation from 5 minutes ago that I wanted to get back to. Now, 90% of the time, I don't have a problem with that. Okay. Because my recall is back. I have that alertness. Okay. And it improves anxiety and depression symptoms. Okay, so that's all on lion's mane. Citicoline is a nutrient that helps your brain work better. It supports brain cells, boosts memory, improves focus by helping make chemicals in your brain that it needs to send messages. It's like fuel for keeping your brain healthy and sharp. Also, citicoline is naturally occurring in the body. And for those of you who don't know, and it can be supplemented in small doses per day. So, acetylcholine is specifically formulated in the body um, in like specific doses, but when you have gone through things in life, this is like a perfect life in a perfect world, right? But when you go through things, you need help building that back up. Okay, so when brought into the body, like that's why you don't have 5 mango edges a day because you don't need it and you shouldn't have it. Okay, you shouldn't have that. Okay, let's chat some more on lion's mane because it's my bestie. Lion's mane mushroom helps with memory and focus. We've talked about that. Um, no. Okay, so most of the stuff on the market is not this is where I'm going to talk to you about mushrooms. Most of the stuff on the market is not real lion's mane mushroom, okay? It's not real. Or it's grown in warehouses on corn. So our lion's mane is not grown in a warehouse on corn. And but like most of it is for real. And I talked with Dr. Sean in person, face to face about this, and he explained this to me. And when you do grow your lion's mane on corn, you get that really high level of starch, and you have a low level of action. Boys, and you have a low level of actual active ingredients, which stimulate the process of creating nerve growth factors in the brain. Can you guys please go downstairs?
Don't
Oakland.
worry, Carol, we can't hear them.
Okay, I'm like, they're going nuts. Anyways, so and then yeah, so we source ours from Asia, and that's where it originates, and we get 100% organic fruiting bodies, which means it's above the ground portion of the mushroom, okay? Meaning you're getting the most pure and potent and most active ingredients. So, with other companies, sorry, I keep forgetting to check the chat, but I'm just going to explain this. With other companies, where they're taking their lion's mane from, most often is from beneath the ground. But especially when you're growing it on corn, but because that lion's mane, to grow it, you need to feed it off something. Okay. So that's why they're using corn. And a lot of times, what is corn? It's genetically modified, right? So you're just getting this cycle of fake, honestly. And I'm not about that at all. You will never see me bringing that fake stuff into my home because I'm like, nope, I'm working on the body. I'm not even going to take supplements that dare even go through that, right? So, most companies are taking it from just like under that first level or that layer of soil, but that is often where mold is growing, okay? And for them, they're like, well, it's fine because in the end product, we're not going to have those levels of mold, or that's what they think to themselves, or they scrape it off and then they get what they get, okay? We are like we have a zero mold tolerance. Like we don't tolerate any of that. In fact, funny story, not funny story, is that actually far beyond any of you guys joined, and I know this because it's far before I joined and Anastasia and Paige, because I was one of the first to join. It was before me. There was a batch of a product in a mine, and it was getting tested. And it turned out that in the final level of testing, there was like 0.07% of mold, which actually is under the line of what they approve for mold to be in products. Because they approve mold in products, by the way, okay? You're allowed to have mold in your products. We threw it out. Entire batch gone. We threw it out. Why? Because we don't. No, you cannot have those. I have these like, okay, go, Oakland. Sorry, he has to go downstairs. Just pick him up. Here, 1 minute, guys.
You're good, Kara. Don't worry. We're letting all of what you just said digest. We gotta like take a breath, guys. This is insane. Are you guys loving this? Please just show her love in the chat because I'm already like mind blown.
It's just crazy that we literally have like the most elite supplements, and this just goes to show like we don't just say it to be funny. It's like it's real. There's nothing like
Absolutely.
it on the market.
I
Hello.
got I got Riker these like gluten-free only goodness Oreos that I gave him for his class, and he brought them home. And it was like a gift to his class, and now the kids are like all the time. Anyways, okay. So, I was talking about the mushrooms. So yeah, it's really, oh my goodness, he's going off. But we're almost done this call. Um, oh my gosh, I'm like so out of it. This is life with boys. I tried to avoid this. Anyways, so yeah, it's really like the testing that we go through in our products, like Amare cares about you. They care about you from like the beginning of the harvesting of the products to the very end, okay? So yeah, not only are we analyzing the active ingredients in every batch, but we're cycling for things like heavy metals, mold, etc. Because another thing that breaks over the blood-brain barrier are heavy metals. And heavy metals, like a high overload of heavy metals in the body, is actually what is I'll go back a slide here, is what is causing that dementia and Parkinson's, okay? Because if you do some research on those diseases, it's actually a heavy metal overload. And so that's why it's really important to be testing our products for that stuff because it breaks through the blood-brain barrier. It stays in the body. It's important. And so these other companies are not testing for this. They're not testing for, and like, I'm just going to say it, B Corp certified, that's great. You're not testing for mold. You're not testing for heavy metals. When you're getting that genetically modified pineapple, there's traces of different things going on in there. Yeah, you could have an incredible fruit that you're using in your product, but if it comes with those things, you're gonna have adverse reactions down the road from repetitive use. Okay, and that's what people don't realize. And so I want you to know that about these products. That stuff is very important. Okay. And then I think this is my last slide. I just wanted to touch on a lot of times people don't know what to say about the caffeine-free happy juice because we so often talk about the mango and the grape and the watermelon, and we talk about pomegranate lime. But so often I feel like anyone else, like comment in the chat, do you feel like the caffeine-free happy juice kind of flies under the radar and we just don't talk about it as much because people are trying to get that caffeine hit? Let's see. Yes. I need to see this chat after. Yes. Yeah. I ignore it. Yep. Yeah, it is what I started. You know why it's what we started with, Paige? It's because it's what Chelsea started with. So she puts it on us. Okay. Let's chat about it. I'll check the chat later. But anyways, dragon fruit. So it has caffeine-free rooibos red tea instead of matcha green tea, and glycine, an amino acid that improves focus and energy instead of the G word they have there. But the same blend of flavonoids for brain activation and no sugar. It's sweetened with monk fruit. Okay, you guys? Monk fruit is actually really incredible if you look into it. But I'm going to touch on the rooibos red tea. So this is why the caffeine-free happy juice is so incredible. And I actually even pair it with my mango. One, it tastes delicious, but it's so good for you. So it's very rich in antioxidants. It contains antioxidants like aspartame and the other one, which help protect the body from oxidative stress and free radical damage. It supports heart health. The antioxidants may improve the heart health by lowering cholesterol and promoting better blood circulation. It's true, you do have better blood circulation when you're taking that. It promotes digestive health, which is so good because when you pair that with the mentobiotics, you're helping your digestion even more. It's often actually used to soothe an upset stomach, okay, which can be like you can have cramping or bloating. It has anti-inflammatory properties that can help reduce symptoms of conditions like arthritis and skin irritation, and it supports immune function. The antioxidants may strengthen the immune system. So you guys, one common theme that you can see in our products is that it actually is focusing on lowering that inflammation in the body through herbs and spices and mushrooms all around. Okay, herbs, mushrooms, and spices. That is what we work with. We're not working with other stimulants. We're not working with things that are going to give you the jitters. We're working with herbs, mushrooms, and yeah. So that is a common theme in our products, is that it's lowering the inflammation. So that is my last slide that I have for you guys today, because I was trying to find the balance between overloading and giving you guys lots of information. So that stuff is all really good to know. And here's the slide that chats on Happy Juice if you didn't get it, that you can screenshot, where you can create your small info thing about. And I guess if I were to do these slides over again, I would have talked a bit more about mentobiotics for you, just because that is also one thing that's really incredible in our company. But I guess I can just speak on it for you for a minute, and as I wrap this up. So in your mentobiotics, you have the probiotics, the prebiotics, the phytobiotics, and the psychobiotics. Okay. And so what's different about our company versus other companies is that we have those psychobiotics that are really, really helping with the mood and the brain function. One thing about, I wanna just chatting. Yeah. So one thing about SSRIs, is that SSRIs actually deplete your gut health. So they work with the brain, but they deplete your gut health. So your gut is always searching for that serotonin and that GABA, and then it's creating an imbalance with your dopamine. And so that's why, and I'm not shaming them at all, okay? Just so you know, there is a time and a place, and they are definitely needed for a lot of people, okay? I'm just giving you some scientific background on it. I know this is a sensitive conversation, but I want to give you some background on it. So if you were to go off of them, then you're now stripping your body of that, and your microbiome is like looking to feed on those prebiotics and probiotics, and then it's looking for support from your psychobiotics, right? And so when you're not filling your body with that goodness, it's just going to get lower and lower and lower, and you're going to get locked into that super low dopamine state where you feel like you should feel satisfaction, but you don't. Okay. And so that's why, one, it's really hard to get off of them. And two, that's why, they have us on them, and they freak us out to even ever go off of them. That's why working with your gut health through the mentobiotics that we specifically have is actually really important, because when you work to bring the strains of your probiotics really matter. Okay. And I think I had it in my notes here. I really hope I have it in my notes here that I wanted. Oh yeah, okay, here. Okay. So yeah, so we have the specific strains of the probiotic bacteria clinically proven for stress. So we have the R0011, the R0175, and R0052. So it's for stress, mood, and tension. Okay, tension within the body. And so other companies are using generic probiotics, okay? So I don't know about you, but I used to use like Genestra, which is now bought out by Nestle. It's probably stuff that you don't even really worry about, but they're now bought out by Nestle. Nestle also makes our iced tea, well did, right? So how can they care about our probiotics when they're also making something like iced tea? Do I drink iced tea? Heck yes, I do. Okay. I am not shaming iced tea. When I go out to eat, I have a good ass iced tea. I'm just telling you, it's not something that I'm going to drink every day. Okay. And it's not a great product for your health. If they're making that, then why are they making my probiotics? Okay. But Genestra, which is often given out by naturopathic doctors, it's that green with the tree. Um, it's just a generic probiotic. Same with what when they're not a probiotic based company, like Arbonne isn't, it's a generic probiotic. Hopefully it gets to the gut, hopefully it works, breaks through that stomach acid and it hits, right? So if you don't know the strain, then you don't know the benefit. Every different strain has different benefits. I'm just telling you this so that you guys can kind of absorb this, and hopefully you can absorb some of this. I'll finish the call on this. And then we have specific structures of prebiotic fibers because the probiotics are feeding on those prebiotics. Okay, it's really, really important to have those prebiotic fibers for resilience of the microbiome. Okay. Other companies use non-proven commodity fibers that actually cause gas and bloating. I keep talking about a specific brand, but that one specifically, I had that problem, okay, with the prebiotic factors to specific fruit that was in the energy drinks that my body was trying to feed off of, but I was getting gas from it. Okay, for transparency. We also have patented products. Okay, not everything can get a patent. You need to work your ass off for a patent. You need to have a good product to have a patent. Not everything gets a patent. We have a patent. And I need you guys to know that so that you know that it's not just any probiotic. And we have that on the phytobiotic, sorry. So that's working with the gut-brain axis for focus and alertness. And it has artichoke leaf. It has ginger root, okay? It has apple fruit, grape seed, New Zealand pine bark, okay? Other companies are using cheaper, low potency, low purity powders that lack proven benefits. So yeah, those are the notes that I have on our mentobiotics that I think could really help you. I'm sorry I didn't have a slide about it. No, I don't know about that. But there are specific strains of probiotics in our mentobiotics that have the patent. I actually have to get clear to see if we have the patent fully on our mentobiotics as a whole, but I know the individual ones have the patents. Yes, I love my iced tea. Can you guys put questions in the comments if you guys have any questions? But as for now, why don't I hand it over to either Kalea, Anastasia, or Paige, and I'll read through the chat, and then if there's questions, then I can assess them. But thank you guys for your time, and I hope that this has really, really helped you guys and just lit a fire within your soul.
Thank you, Kara. Are you able
Love.
to stop the share there, Kara, so we can see?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I have you in a speaker view, so I'm going to go to standard so we can see everyone. Gallery. There we go. How's everyone feeling after all of that? It's a lot to take in.
It
But
was
how
a workout.
cool is it? How cool is it that we all consume these products every day? Like, can we all just not only do we consume these products every day, we help other people get on these products every day. We want other people to feel good, and we can feel good about what we are helping people feel good with, can we not? Like after today, who else is feeling more confident about what it is we have our hands on and who we can help with it? So I want you guys, if you have questions for Kara, like she's here tonight to answer the sciencey stuff. If there's something,
Oh,
pardon?
sorry to interrupt. Also, I just saw one comment here about sugar. Do you guys want me to talk on sugar and stevia for a
Yes,
minute?
that would be amazing.
Okay, let me do that. One sec. Let me just finish this up. Okay. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I kind of saw your guys' comments because I am honestly so known for like, thanks for joining. And then people are like, yeah, so you didn't see the chat. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Okay. So, we have Fred. I've got my study book too. I wanted to see which exact product it was. Okay, yeah. So, our products are sugar-free, except the pomegranate lime. Okay, pomegranate lime is the only one with the sugar in it, and it has sugar cane in a very small amount, and it actually is put in there to aid in hydration. And there's actually, fun fact, not enough sugar in the product to break a fast. So some people do intermittent fasting, and they talk about their sugars and how like it can break their fast, like so and so, yada yada. There's not enough sugar in there to break a fast. The other stuff is stevia. So, yes, we use stevia. And the thing with stevia, so which is really funny, when I first started in Amare, I was like one of those anti-stevia girls. I was like, it's got stevia, I ain't coming, okay? I will not attend. But then I ended up having a call with Dr. Sean because I do love the science and I was always asking for calls. And I would talk to him about it in person. And the thing about stevia is that in other companies, they harvest it. So it goes through a harvest process and they use the end of the harvest process. Okay. And as you guys I'm sure know, when you go through like harvesting and manufacturing process, like the cannabinoids or the structure of the plant and the molecular compound, it changes. Okay. And so when you're harvesting it, and taking it to put into the product at the very end, you're only using like a certain part of the plant. And you're usually using a lot of it to get that sugary taste. What we use in Amare is we actually use, we extract it. When we extract it, we use it at every level. And so we use what is called the bitter parts of stevia. And so the beginning parts are the bitter parts, and the end have kind of the sweeter notes. Okay. And so instead of just taking one fraction of the stevia and placing it in a ton of it into the drink, we're actually using the bitter notes. And anybody that knows about the bitter notes of stevia, when you put the bitter notes into your gut, our gut loves, you know how our gut loves things like sauerkraut and different things like that things that are fermented? Well, our gut also loves the bitter notes of stevia. There are benefits to it. Why would it be in this world if there weren't benefits to the specific molecular compound of the plant, right? And so we're taking it and we're harvesting it from like beginning to end, and we're not throwing a lot of the end part of the harvest in, but rather we're using both the bitter and the sweeter notes. Okay. So hopefully that helps you guys kind of like understand a little bit more. It has for me. We're not using a ton of it. It's not like a packet of stevia, throwing it in your coffee. No, it's not like that. And also we're using the bitter notes that our gut needs in order to use it. A fun fact, did you guys know that like when, let's say you're making soup, okay, for your family from scratch, and you're cutting up onions and garlic, okay? Did you know that your digestion is starting while you make dinner? That's why it's healthier also to eat dinner at home than going out to eat dinner, even if it's the best restaurant in the world, right? Because at home, like our bodies are created so amazing. So at home, when you are cutting up the garlic and the onion, you're already starting in that digestion process. And then you bring all of it into your body and it knows how to digest it. Same goes for using plants as a whole. Sidetrack note, mood plus. You know, a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, I can't take that product because I can't do ashwagandha. Well, that's because a lot of other companies that are using this viral ashwagandha, they're using the base of the plant, or they're using only the top part of the plant. and they're using just one part, extracting it, and it's only giving benefits or not benefits to some people and causing a reaction. When you can use the plant as a whole in a specific way with less and more, and you're using it, then it actually reacts really well in the body. Okay. And so that same goes for like the stevia when we're using it. We're also using that bitter notes, which not a lot of companies are using. So I really wanted to drive that home for you guys. Stevia is not a bad thing. Yes, it's mold free. I'm gonna answer this, but I haven't been able to get an actual. Okay. So, the reason why we're not certified organic is because one, like who all of Costco is organic at this point. Like you walk into Costco and it's like organic, organic, organic. Because at this point it's like a paid label. It doesn't mean a lot, right? A lot of companies are just paying for that label so that they can have it on their products. And I was chatting with Dr. Sean about this, and he said that he would rather be known, like people ask more questions when you don't have an organic label on the box, and they would way rather be known for all their rigorous testing than the fact that we just have an organic label slapped on the box, and we are above organic standards. Another thing about that, though, is that we are so worldwide, and it's also to so that we can have oh, what's the word? Not like fluency, is that a word? Across the board in our packaging, because like Health Canada, right? So annoying to have an organic label here. Easier to have an organic label in the US. Like there's different countries that it's easier and harder to have an organic label with. And we don't want inconsistency on the packaging, but also we're not ashamed. Actually, I learned this in New Jersey that we're actually going to start to share even more of our third party testing and our testing so you guys can see our efficacy and our rigorous testing because it actually is incredible. And that means so much more than organic. Also, I know this myself, and I brought it up with Dr. Sean, and he heavily agreed. And he said, that's exactly it. If you guys know anything about organic, did you know that an organic farm can actually be a certain amount of feet or yards away from a non-organic farm? And there's something called overspray. So if you guys are in farming, you're familiar with those airplanes that fly across the fields and they fly pretty low and they spray, right? Or those big tractors that have the big wings and they're spraying. Well, there's always, well, typically there's wind, right? And the wind is going to carry that glyphosate and it's going to drop on other plants. And it's called overspray. Often happens with planes, right? With the plane spray. And so an organic farm, you can be an organic farm, but there's overspray landing on those plants. So then, guys, don't get me wrong, I buy organic in this home left, right, and center because it makes me feel better about my berries. But at that point, it's greenwashed. It's no longer has that heavy of an impact. Okay? We would way rather be known for our glyphosate testing, our heavy metal testing, our mold testing than just like, we're organic. Awesome. How about that overspray? When you put an organic label on something, did you know that people aren't going to worry about the testing in glyphosate and heavy metal and mold? Because that's not getting tested for as much. Okay? So you guys, I'm an organic girly through and through. Okay? I'm with you on it. It doesn't actually carry as much weight as it did to like, well, our grandparents didn't have to buy organic because the whole grocery store was organic. Okay? So I could get into that topic for a long time. Like I said, I'm an organic girly through and through. I love the label because it makes me feel better about what I'm doing compared to like buying non-organic because then I'm like, well, you're directly spraying my beans. But instead of overspray. But at the end of the day, when it comes to our supplements, we have much better testing. That's why it's above organic standards. Okay. Okay. You know what, Lacey? I actually am not going to address this because this is kind of like a life or death question. Um, but I am kind of recalling that I had a conversation with the scientist about the stevia and like the processing of the plant. Um, but I can't answer that because I'm not recalling everything right now and I want to play it on the safe side. So how about either I say that save that for later or we ask someone higher up, okay? I'm okay with saying that because I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sometimes people do react to stevia. Happy hormone capsules, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's an incredible question, Kelsey. That's a Health Canada thing. That has nothing to do with like that's also why how do I not overshare? That's also why some scientists in the brand can or have gotten frustrated is because the claims that we have to make on our incredible product can hold people back from consuming it when it's Health Canada. It's same with like it's same with the Energy Plus. You know, I'm just gonna say it. Our scientist that is no longer actively with us, he was so frustrated when the front of the box said a source of antioxidants. He was like, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Like, why are we saying that? And I was like, I know, Sean, it's okay. But guys, I'm giving you that example because it's like, yes, it's a source of antioxidants, but that's such a widely used term these days, source of antioxidants. Um, because people think, oh, anti-aging and like they think berries and they think bright skin. It's so much better than that. Okay. So as much as it is a source of antioxidants, it's more than that. Same with the claim of no longer than 3 months. You guys can get breastfeeding tinctures and it's going to say, do not take it if breastfeeding or pregnant. It's going to be like, well, then why the heck did I pay $80 for this? Right. Well, because everything's going to say that because they think physicians are just, okay, moving on. Yes, exactly. So, yes, that is the tea on the science of these incredible products. I hope that it filled your cup. I hope it filled your notebooks. And I just hope that, oh, the labeling. Yeah, I just hope it filled your cup. I hope it filled your notebooks. I hope it filled your brains. I hope that your belief cup was filled because sometimes we all need that. Throw a fire in the chat if you needed your belief cup filled. You know, you guys, I've been there before. Nothing like a good science call to fill your belief cup and make you be like, right, that's why I chose this company. That's why I chose these products. And that's why they are different than everything else. All right, you guys, I hope you guys have an incredible night. Thank you for having me. And hopefully, I'll see you on another call in the future.